The hair is UGLY. It ain't got a body ugly. Yeah, it ugly.
And that's why Robbie's off the show. Bye, Robbie. Yeah, nice try. Actually, I have no idea why that would not do anything if I just tilted it up or down.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. Kyle is here. Kyle, how are you today, buddy?
Not too bad. Just enjoying the slightly cooler weather. How about you?
Doing great. And yeah, definitely the weather has cooled down and not as hot as it's been, which is always good. And we are back to one of our original couches as opposed to, I know the last couple of episodes we did, we had our mini golf episode, which we really enjoyed, and then our Cape episode, which was our last episode, which was another really, really good one. So had a great time as always filming both of those, but now excited to be back on the couch for tonight's episode. And what we wanted to do tonight was we wanted to discuss the violent side of sports, more notably the violent side.
The Fight Club side.
The violent side of sporting events, specifically.
Yes, the side you don't talk about because it's Fight Club.
Specifically, sporting events that we've been to. That's right. We want to take a look back at some of the fights that both Kyle and I have witnessed. We've never been in a fight at a sporting event.
Are you sure about that, Robbie?
Now I knew it was going to go down this road.
Here we
go. We've been waiting through how many episodes for this.
They've seen fights before. It's not this level. There we go. I just knocked it.
Anyway.
Not bad.
Yeah, now that that's out of the way. Just random. But speaking of fights, so we wanted to take a look back at all the sporting events that we've been to. And
sorry, we're not 5 years old or anything.
No, we just work with them during the day.
That's our mental age.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, take a look at some of the fights that we've witnessed, whether it be in the stands or actually on the platform of competition itself. Either, field, arena, ice, whatever. So, yeah, let's jump into it before I completely lose my train of thought here. Kyle, I guess I'll let you sort of kick things off. So no sports pun intended there. When you look back at your sporting events you've been to in your life, what sort of stands out in terms of fights that you've witnessed? Again, whether it be within the competition or outside the competition, for that matter.
Well, so most of the fights that I remember...
By the way, this episode idea was Kyle's, and I'm loving it already.
Thank you. So it's funny because when I look back at it, I don't remember that many fights from basketball overall. Maybe it's because I didn't see that many basketball games in general, so that's probably a big factor of it. I feel like basketball is like one of the least violent sports, especially when it comes to like just picking fights here and there.
Yeah.
But I have seen some pretty incredible fights. I'll start off with hockey. Hockey's shown some just wild fights. And you look at hockey and it goes across the board, like just pretty much all like areas of the profession. You're talking like I've seen high school fights. I've seen professional like pro fights with like the Bruins and stuff like that. Just I feel like you see it. That's like one of the ones you see the most. I just remember there was like one game. I want to say it was one of the. Think exactly. So I don't know. Like I've seen so many hockey games. Like it's hard to go into like super specifics. But I think it was one of the college hockey games we went to. It may have even been one of the Bentley ones. I feel like I just remember seeing some like there was like one of the games that they that the players they just started like shoving each other and like it was like a very heated match and I think at one point even like a hockey stick broke or something like that. It was pretty crazy.
That happens in hockey. Sticks break, and there do tend to be a lot of pushing and shoving. On all levels. That is for sure.
Yeah, I've also seen that too, and definitely plenty of Bruins. Actually, I think I've seen even more of that in like Bruins games. Like Bruins, I know. Oh man, well once you start picking fights with Bruins or vice versa, they don't end. That's it. Like you're gonna see them like all throughout the game. Just like it's not gonna stop until the game's actually over. And I think specifically, what was the last Bruins game we went to? I think I remember
Bruins Canadians. In December 2019. Yeah,
that's the one.
Yep, I remember you were remarking, and there was like a couple of really good fights on the ice during that one.
They were just like shoving each other. I think that was actually the one I remember now. It wasn't even at the college games. I think that was the one I was thinking of. That where like literally like I think one of the hockey sticks broke because they tried to hit the puck and then it just snapped and you could see it sliding on the ice. And then just like throughout the game, they were just like one of the Canadians players would like kind of start shoving one of the Bruins players, and they like and like there was some hard fouls and stuff like that. Like I felt like I was watching more fights than actual hockey at that game.
Yeah, no, there were quite a number of them. I remember. That is for sure.
That was wild, and I'll say also in the baseball side of things too. Especially in the earlier, or when I went to Fenway Park a few times back in like middle school, I think it was one of the playoff games. I just remember, wow, like I've seen fights in baseball where there'll be like a small fight break out in the field and stuff like that between both teams, kind of right by the pitcher's mound. I've seen that happen a few times. However, I've seen like more fights with the fans in those cases. Like the fans will like jump in and just start all kinds of craziness. Like there was that one guy who I remember. This was back in like 2003. I distinctly remember like just like watching this one fan jump into the freaking bullpen, and he was like literally about to like pick a fight with one of the Yankees players while they were practicing. It was crazy.
Yeah, I remember. I was at that same game. I remember we were talking about earlier. Yeah, that was a wild game because that was the same game that like both teams got into like a bench clearing brawl, and Pedro Martinez threw down Don Zimmer, one of the coaches for the Yankees. That was a crazy one.
That was
for
wild.
sure. Yeah, that was just like mind-boggling to watch that in person for sure. It was very definitely added a lot of excitement to that game.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was just like, whoa, okay. I've never seen like just, especially in baseball, because I feel like for the most part too, baseball is pretty nonviolent. But once in a while, you'll get like that, like you'll get some like mean eyes like crossing each other and everything. Like you'll see that. Yeah, kind of like that. Pretty accurate actually. And I guess on the I think it was actually. I'm trying to think if there's anything like track related too. I didn't really see. I mean, track's kind of a hard. That's a much harder sport to have fights in, to be honest, because everyone's kind of doing their own event. I mean, I've seen people get frustrated because of their throws.
Can you imagine a brawl in track? Just somebody just breaks in the disc, like somebody attacks with a discus, and then somebody brings a javelin in there. And just, like,
oh my god, that would be.
Somebody's using a hurdle as like a weapon.
It'd be like an all-out war.
Yeah.
It's like
there's a lot of violent weapons actually that you could use in a track fight.
I know, seriously, yeah. That's probably why there's not that many fights, because I was like, yeah, I would rather not get hit by a shot put, because that's one of the worst things you ever get hit by. I would rather, at that point, I would choose a baseball over a shot put in the head, believe me. Shot puts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And baseball's not, believe me, but yeah, I've gotten hit by a baseball a few times. Believe me, I'd rather choose that than a shot put.
Now, would you choose a hockey puck or a javelin?
Oh, actually, javelin. Hockey puck's pretty quick. Like if I was padded, I feel like the hockey puck wouldn't be that bad. But yeah.
Well, I'm more saying that because you've taken a hockey puck off the back of the head.
Yeah, and that was the last one I was gonna go by too, because it's funny because I remember that game. I remember the fights in that game in particular. That was one of the Babson games that Robbie and I went to. This was back in I think it was like late high school,
senior year.
It was senior year. Yeah. And it was funny because that one there were some brawls here and there, But I remember most of the intensity of most of the conflicts actually were pretty much on the ice. Like they were shoving each other and they were hitting the puck like so hard at that point that you could tell the game was getting more and more intense to the point where the puck was like ricocheting off all over the place, and it was crazy. And that's where, yeah, obviously I've said this on the show before too. Yep, I got skimmed in the head with a puck right as it like hit like a pipe or something like that. It was the craziest thing, and like I didn't even realize I was actually bleeding. That's how crazy it was. Um, but there was what was it? Yeah, no, I just remember that was also one of the more kind of brawlery. I can't even. Yeah. Anyways, it was one of the more intense hockey games. Like kind of. Yeah. But
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's what I got for now. So how about you?
Yeah, I've got. I mean, I could go literally a whole hour. I feel like on just some of the ones I've seen over the years, but there's a few that stand out. I would say, like, it sort of goes by like level of play for me. Luckily, I haven't really seen that many fights at like youth sporting events, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, no.
I have
want
seen,
to teach your kids, right?
I have seen like a couple of like verbal altercations between like parents and coaches or parents and umpires.
I mean, you're gonna get
like that. I mean, that is unfortunately to be expected at times.
Yeah.
But I would say that when it comes to high school sports, I would say that, and Kyle will understand and back me up on this. I think the games that I've seen the most, like either on the field or like off the field, like altercations, are usually Wellesley Needham sporting events. Especially given the big rivalry there, and there's just a couple of. There's actually one in particular that stands out. I think I mentioned this before on the show. If I haven't, well, I will now. But if I can speak, in sixth grade. So Kyle actually was not here yet for this particular story, but I think I've definitely mentioned this to him many times over the years. But in sixth grade, we were playing. During the Thanksgiving game, we were playing like a pickup football game between the Wellesley sixth graders and the Needham sixth graders. And it started as kind of like there was like a little skirmish between a couple of the Wellesley sixth graders and a couple of the Needham sixth graders. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, like all the kids from like the older grades, like the 7th and 8th graders, like came in and all of a sudden just like came running in and just started like an all-out brawl on the field between like the two towns, like kids sections,
oh my God,
so to speak, middle school sections. Yeah, it was wild. Like it was like this went on for like a good 10-15 minutes.
Wow.
I kind of scattered like back into the stadium like after it was at Wellesley. And I kind of scattered back in the stadium when it first started. But literally, you literally at one point had a circle. Around like a big circle, and then whenever a new fight would break out, like you'd have people who go running like in all directions.
Wow, they were pretty organized. That's a pretty organized fight.
It was intense. Like it was nasty.
So it turned like a gladiator style almost.
It was bad. Like I'm not like it was a bad situation, but it always will just like stick with me because I think that was like one of the first times that like I had seen like kind of that up close like sporting event violence like in the stands. I mean, like I had seen obviously stuff on the field before or ice or whatever, but like I hadn't really seen like fans go at it before until that moment. So that was pretty wild. When I think of college, there's one game in particular that I went into. My collegiate alma mater, Mount Ida College, which Kyle and I have been to a few sporting events for them over the years. Obviously, no longer in existence. Yeah. But back when I was there, our big rival was LaSalle College, which is also based in Newton as well. So we're the battle of the Newton D3 schools. And there used to be actually quite a number of fan fights during those games. I remember one game in particular over at LaSalle, like I was kind of sitting down the court level, but I remember looking up like into the stands or into like the balcony area, and literally seeing like fans for both Ida and LaSalle like going at it, like students from both schools like going at it up in the balcony. So and
Wow.
like the public safety like officers had to like come in and like break it all up and all that. It was pretty wild. Um, and then the other story I want to tell, because this one also kind of stands out for me. This is the Red Sox actually. This is going to sort of jump up to the Red Sox here. I forget. I want to say it was 05. Yeah, it must have been. Yeah, it would have been 05.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So they had already won the first World Series.
Yeah, it would have been 05. I was at a game, and I gotta give a little context here. So, for those of you who know me, know I'm a big Boston College football fan, and the Red Sox game was on a Friday night, and the next day or the next night, Saturday night, BC was hosting Florida State in football. And so there were a lot of like Florida State fans at the Red Sox game the night before. I mean, it makes sense. You come to Boston for a weekend. Yeah. Red Sox are a hot commodity. Sort of a Fenway Park. So you go to a game. So there are these two like Red Sox fans sort of sitting behind us who had been sort of giving it to this like group of Florida State fans that were sitting in front of us, and they've been going back and forth all night long and like jawing and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, this one like Florida State fan literally gets up out of a seat and goes charging, literally up 3 rows of seats. And obviously, we all go scattering at that point. And literally, you turn around and they are just going at it like,
oh my god!
It's like the 2 guys, and then there's like 2 or 3 of the Florida State fans who are just like. They're all going after each other and stuff like that, and it was
wow.
It was wild. Like literally,
that's
between that and the Wellesley Needham, I feel like those are the 2 times like I've come close. Like those are the 2 closest times that I've come to like sporting event violence, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that was just crazy. I mean, that was the first ever fan fight that I had witnessed like. That close at Fenway.
Yeah.
And just to see, like, you knew once that guy came, like, charging up a couple rows there that, like, it was about to go down and you better get out of the way. So, yeah, needless to say, the section was a lot more open. The road was a lot more open when we came back into our seats because obviously all those people have been kicked out. So,
yeah.
But yeah, that was something else, man. That was wild. I still, like I said, it's like one of those memories that sort of sticks with you, to this day, for sure. So it was quite something. But yeah, those are sort of the noteworthy ones. Again, I mean, I'm sure if I thought about it, I could think of a lot more little skirmishes and stuff like that. But those are the ones that kind of like. Really stand. Oh wait, actually, sorry. There's one more that I want to jump to. Sorry, I forgot about this one. When I was announcing a Wellesley, it was a Wellesley versus Newton North hockey game, boys hockey, and literally, both teams got into this huge like brawl, whatever you want to call it, like skirmish brawl, whatever you want to call it, on the ice during the game. Like they literally. Could not stand each other. They literally boiled over, like towards the end of the game, like this just huge dust up on the ice, and that was pretty intense. I definitely remember that as well. And I remember having to call that moment and being like, "Okay, what do we do here?" And then obviously there was the Thanksgiving game brawl in 2019. But
I think that was like the most recent. Like
that was the most recent one that I've witnessed. Again, that I had to figure out how to announce. Like how do you call a fight on a football field? Yeah,
I remember you told me about that. Yeah, that was very interesting.
Yeah, that was something else. But yeah, that's pretty much all. Cool. All I got. So yeah, those are some good ones. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. You definitely see. Yeah, you definitely can see, especially depending on the sport and the level. You definitely can see a lot of action there for sure. But
yeah,
definitely. If you guys have any sports fights that you have witnessed or want to discuss, definitely feel free to drop a comment below. We'd love to love to hear from you as always.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, now we are going to move on to the end portion of our episode. And tonight I'm actually going to let Kyle start with another rousing edition of the Sue's Reviews. So, Kyle, what have you got for us this week?
All right, so speaking of fights, I thought it would be the perfect time to talk about one of my favorite.
We're actually going to get into a fight right now.
I know, an actual fight.
Oh boy!
But no, I thought I would take the perfect opportunity to talk about one of my all-time favorite action movies in recent memory, and which is called The Raid. Technically, it's called The Raid Redemption, and it's just this movie that it goes balls to the wall, and the brilliance of this movie is that it actually takes place in pretty much in one area. So what happens is this SWAT team is sent in to take care of some kind of going-ons, bustlings, like in this huge apartment complex, only to find out that they've essentially walked into a trap because this huge apartment complex is owned by this. He's essentially like a crime lord, and it's just from there. It's just the action is just unbelievable. It's not for the faint of heart. That movie is a hard R. So you definitely don't want to bring your kids to this one. But you know, if you really are a big fan of like martial arts style movies, like this is one of the best ones you'll ever see. This movie came out in about 2012, but to me it's it's a very timeless movie. You know, despite the fact that it's almost 10 years old now, which is kind of weird to think about that. It's a great movie. It's just it's I mean it's a very simple setup, very simple story, but just everything about it is so effective, and even the characters have like really there's a lot of good character beats in that movie, and you find out more and more about the main character, and kind of like you learn more about him as the movie goes on, and who he encounters in the apartment and everything. And I don't want to spoil too much, but it's just a great movie. Like it's one of those very rewatchable action movies. And the thing is, it's not in English. It's I can't remember the exact language it's in. I want to say it's but oh, shoot, I feel terrible. Maybe if you guys can help me out, just I can't exactly remember the language it's in. I want to say it's maybe I know it's I know it's an Asian movie. I just can't think of exactly what language it is. I'm so sorry, but it's a great movie though. You know, whether you decide to do subtitles or dubbed, I recommend subtitles when it comes to foreign movies myself. But yeah, if you want to watch a good action movie, definitely watch The Raid Redemption. It's incredible. So
cool. Thank you, Kyle, for that lovely review as always.
Thank you.
So for tonight's Robbie's pre-show food review, we went one town over to good old Needham, Massachusetts, to Bertucci's. But that was not the story of the night. I mean, Bertucci's was good as always. Yeah. But the story of the night was there is this new for Needham, I should say, ice cream place that opened next door to Bertucci's called Cookie Monster, which is actually a place that I've been to before, not in Needham, but in Burlington, which is where one of their other locations is. And folks, it is delicious ice cream. I mean, and by the way, not only do they have ice cream, they have cookies. And guess what? You can get ice cream on a cookie. Like, you can get a cookie sandwich, you can get regular ice cream, you can get regular cookies. You can get it all. You can get everything your heart desires in one place. It is fantastic. I got the Death by Chocolate. I literally was dead by chocolate. It was so good. It was probably one of the best chocolatey ice creams I think I've ever had. It was that good. Kyle got the cookie. Got the mint Oreo cookie sandwich, right?
One of the best mint Oreo ice creams I think I've ever had in my entire life. It was
in between two chocolate chip cookies.
It was a dream. Just just a forewarning. If you decide to go there, don't eat a huge dinner because they give you a lot.
Yes.
So they give you a lot of ice cream
But
and cookies.
it was good. It was definitely worth it.
Yeah,
and
delicious.
I would definitely give it 2 thumbs up. I would say go to Cookie Monster. It's on Highland Ave in Needham, this particular one, but they also have like ones in Burlington, and I think they have some other ones around the area as well.
Very good.
But definitely try it out. So, yeah, that's gonna wrap up this week's episode. I want to give another quick plug to a couple of other shows that Kyle and I are very familiar with. One is the Sports Blitz that features Doug and I. New episode actually of that is coming out tomorrow, or is being recorded tomorrow. I don't know when it'll come out, but it is being recorded tomorrow. And then Kyle and Doug obviously have released their first couple episodes of Marvel at the Movies, and it's been really fun to watch so far.
Thank you.
A lot of good stuff going on there, and more to come, I'm sure.
We're hoping to do another episode soon. I'm still in talks with Doug right now about exactly when it's going to air, but I'll definitely, we'll keep you guys in the loop. So
yeah, no, definitely check out both Marvel at the Movies and the Sports Blitz. And definitely continue to check us out here on On Couch Talking Sports. Again, we're here on YouTube. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and right here in your house, in your home, and on your computer. So, again, that wraps up this week's edition of On Couch Talking Sports. Thanks as always for joining us, everybody. Until next time, he's Kyle, I'm Robbie, and this is The Couch, and we'll see you next time on a Couch Talking Sports. Bye, everybody.